Okay, good. You are an embodied reflection of Source. You are thus infinitely empowered, abundant, and a co-creator with your context always. You are an alchemist. Divination works because the web of life is intelligently organized with coordinated and storied agency. Let's take a look at the stories playing out now. Hi everyone. So we have two new beginnings occurring for all of us on a collective basis at our Aquarius New Moon that's coming up on February 8th. The first is the Sabian Symbology that's imbued at the degree point, the 19-degree Aquarius degree point of this particular new moon. Fascinating symbol, a large white dove bearing a message. Now, a lot of us are working through exponential levels of transparency, the release of any remnants of self-delusion, getting completely clear about ourselves, about various things in our lives, you know, what's been going on. And this message here, a large white dove bearing a message, is talking about clarity descending. So after many months, in fact, over the course of much of 2015, many people were feeling quite stuck or confused, or there were many threads, possibilities, potentials, and there was no clarity about which direction to go. This is talking about clarity arrives. There's a different energy that is supporting movement. Now, we get into the new Chinese New Year. The red fire monkey begins on this new moon. So the actual point of the Chinese New Year with the new animal, the new energies that coming into play, takes place on the second new moon after the winter solstice. And this year of the fire monkey is so supportive of moving all of the insights, the intuitions, the ideas, the projects that have been wanting to come into play over the course of the last 12 to 24 months. So be prepared. This year is going to be active, clever, playful, adventurous, a bit of a trickster element at play, sassy. You know, this is about being discerning. This is about going with the flow. This is about really owning your power, kind of stepping into a new state of confidence, which is very exciting. So we're all going to be fed by this fire monkey year. Now, one thing I want to mention before we move on is that the new moon symbol, a large white dove bearing a message, is interesting in that over the course of the summer, if you recall, we had two events that occurred at the 21-degree Leo point, and that symbol was a carrier pigeon fulfilling its mission. Interesting. We had Venus conjunct Jupiter at that point, and we had a new moon later in the summer at that same point. So we had then a carrier pigeon fulfilling its mission, and now here we are 6 months later, a large white dove bearing a message. So don't be clear and don't be fooled. This is a time of clarity. It is at hand for you if you take it, if you sit, if you become still, if you meditate. There is information that can come to you now. It's a ripe time for you to, one, gain clarity, and two, move forward like the monkey. Capricorn, welcome. So here we are, February 2016. Oh gosh, so we are doing a live I Ching coin throw for you. I do this, as you know, if you've tuned in before, I pull up the I Ching to represent the microcycle. So we pull up the Sabian Symbology to pull up the collective energy set, the story underpinning the cycle for all of us. And then I pull the I Ching to tap into the microcycle for the demographic of the particular sign. So let's go ahead and do this thing. So the coins have, of course, two sides, heads and tails. And the heads have a value of 3, and the tails have a value of 2. And we are going to build our I Ching hexagram. A note that I do not notate in these general readings the changing lines. So some of these lines are simple lines, some of them are changing. I only record the version of it that's the simple line, which is essentially the core message, the core hexagram. Here we have the same. The broken lines in the I Ching, the solid lines are masculine energies. They're light energies, solar energies, action-oriented. So the quality set that's associated with the masculine. And the broken lines are the receptive lines. They're associated with the feminine. They're known as the dark lines, the internal lines, the reflective lines, all the qualities that are associated with the feminine. Capricorn. Three tails. So for example, the 6 here would be a changing line, a changing dark line, but we're just going to record the broken line for this reading. Okay. We'll see. We have one left to go here. What is wanting to come for Capricorn? Two heads and one tail. So this is, dear Capricorn, let me build it here. So we build from the bottom up. This is the top trigram. This is the bottom trigram. This is number 2. The receptive. Let me tell you the names of those 2 trigrams. Capricorn, the top and the bottom are both Kun. And I'm certain that I'm not pronouncing those correctly, but that gives you an idea of the name at least. So Capricorn, let's take a look and pull a spread for you and see what event, circumstance, or situation is likely to be coming forward during this February 8th Aquarius New Moon cycle for you. So this month, I'm using the Bral Talej deck. This is a deck that I've used before for the Alchemy scopes. A note that this deck was one of my first. I had had tarot decks before purchasing this deck, but this was my first powerful experience with cards, and I was coming into my power when I purchased this deck. This comes from a community by the name of Daminier in northern Italy, And I have been to this community. The woman that was inspired to create this deck, Shama Viola, is a wonderful woman. And she used the artwork of Falco, the founder of this community, this intentional community in northern Italy, and the symbology, the symbols of the language that were essentially channeled through Falco and through the folks at Damanhur. It's a very powerful otherworldly place, and this is a very powerful otherworldly deck. So let's see what's coming up for Capricorn. Event, circumstance, or situation is coming forward for at least the majority of awakening Capricorn-centric scope people. Cap. Let's see what's coming up. Very interesting, this forgetting card, I have to tell you. Very. Because it's come up. And the amazing, amazing. This big card has come up for 2 other signs in the exact same position. This cycle, everyone, is going to be delicious for a lot of people. This is a general reading. It's not going to apply to everybody, but this is huge. I mean, there's a huge momentum, huge movement going on for everyone. Look at this, Capricorn. Wow, wow, wow. There is a growth edge for you, though, certainly. Let's finish pulling it. Okay, Cap. Yeah, this is powerful. This time for you, the center message for you, the center situation is focusing on what is in front of you now, what is active for your path now, what's happening in your life now. So for each of you, it's going to be a different factor. There's a different focus for you occupying your attention. However, what this card is pointing to is what is active in your life now is the main growth edge that you're needing to attend to. So you're going to be, what I get from this too is for some of you out there that are really tuned in, you are going to be accessing that present moment awareness. You're going to be accessing the power of now, the power of the moment, the power of not maybe focusing on past future as much. So there's a focus on present moment breathing, being. For some of you, again, this is a general reading. So at the foundation, for a lot of you, this has to do with home. So there's something significant happening, Capricorn, for a lot of you with regards to your house, your apartment, your condo, your home, where you live, the location that you live, the dwelling that you reside within. And it is something significant. So you can tell by the image here, I mean, there's a lot of whirling movement. This is not the movement card, but there's action implied with this. And it is, in fact, significant for your life path. So something significant. It could be that you're moving, but let's look at the rest of the cards. So interestingly, this is important to point out. This forgetting card has again come up for at least one other sign, at least one, I think possibly 2, over the course of this Aquarius New Moon February cycle for the signs. The forgetting card coming up in the spirituality sector is talking about there has been a detachment from your spiritual nature. There's been a disconnect from your intuition, from your connection to your higher self. And it could very well be that you are consumed in the moment with big things happening at the home, in the family. So there's an inherent growth edge here of reconnection to spirit. You have to reconnect with yourself. Meditate if you're not meditating. Now is the time. This is a very powerful time. But the great thing is, the interesting thing is, if you do reconnect spiritually, this is in the emotional sector. The richness card actually does have to do with like money, possessions, your material reality. It's typically money. There's another card that kind of refers to abundance, but this could also refer to abundant flow. This did come up in the emotional sector. So for you, there's something about money that's activating you, but it's something about connecting, again, listening to your emotions, listening to how you're feeling, listening to others' feelings, listening to the emotional reality of you in the situation, the big situation that's going on at home is important. And it seems like during this cycle, Capricorn, you're going to be experiencing some powerful emotions coming up. Obviously, you can see here that the Italian version of the word was accidentally printed at the bottom. You'll see on the other cards, it's English at the bottom. So this is power. And you are going to be kind of attending to, again, listening to maybe the richness of your emotions, the qualities of your emotional self, and it's going to be powerful over the course of this chapter. So there's some big something that's going on at the home that is activating some powerful emotions for you that have been contained. So what I get, Capricorn, is that at this time, there is literally an uncorking of stifled emotions from your past, from your life, that you've held, that you've not allowed to flow, and you are uncorking. This came up reversed. This was like the final card in the set that came up reversed. So it's like there's an uncorking happening of bottled up emotions, okay? And it could very well be almost about previous dismissal of self. It's like you're tapping into how you haven't honored yourself, heard yourself, loved yourself, connected with yourself. And I'm talking higher self and inner self, right? Your whole self. Capricorn, this feels huge for you. At the top sector, you are thinking about where you've been and where you're going, your general direction, where you are now. Again, the now card came up in the center, yeah? So you're thinking about, okay, where am I going? You're looking at your life. You have some stuff coming up. It feels big. There's some powerful emotions coming up, and you're thinking, okay, now what? Now, you're also looking at what is not feeling good. So I want you to keep in mind, like Abraham Hicks constantly talks about contrast, right? The establishment of contrast that helps establish our desire set. And that's what this card is referring to. It's referring to things that are dissonant, things that don't feel good, things that are opposed to our true bliss and flow and desire. So you're looking at your direction, you're looking at the now of your life, and you're thinking about, this is in the mental sector, you're thinking about what doesn't feel good, what's dissonant, what isn't right. And you're thinking about what you want, because the contrast is creating the desire. It's helping hone your desires for your mission of the soul. Sweet Capricorn, this is such an amazingly powerful cycle for you. Again, This is a general reading. This is absolutely not going to apply to everybody. These are soul evolution readings. These are for people who are very awake, who are very in tune with what's going on for themselves and what's going on for the planet and what's going on for the collective. This is not going to apply to everybody out there. But for those of you who are tuned in here, who know it's for you, huge. This is huge for you. Now, let's pull an angel card for you, okay? So this is my fabulous little baggie here of angel cards from Findhorn. And I was kind of giggling with some of the other readings because this is a bit of an international reading here. We have my cards from Italy and my angel cards from Findhorn. So let's see what's coming up. The angel card will be, and by the way, these are quite potent as well. Findhorn is another place that I lived there briefly for a time. And again, otherworldly, you know, there's lots of powerful things there. Who wants to come for Cap? Where are you? Inspiration is coming up, Capricorn. So this is the guidance for you at this time, which I find interesting. So you are to be inspired by the contrast because that's creating the desire set. Be inspired. Be inspired. Remember, go back in your memory when you were young. Remember what inspired you. Remember what brought you joy, bliss, excitement. Revisit those things because in 2016, this is a year to activate our aligned soul in a new way. This is a very, very, very exciting year to come, everyone. Wow, Capricorn. Just... again, you are, I think I mentioned this earlier, you are, I think, the third sign, and I'm almost completed with my scopes now, to receive this card in the foundational sector of this synchronic spread. This is a big cycle. This is a big month for a lot of people. And keep in mind, we're starting this fire monkey year, the Chinese New Year, which is going to be moving. It's going to be activating. It's going to be catalyzing. It's going to be confident. It's going to be multi-pronged. It's very exciting. And so a lot of the stuff that's been stuck and stifled and building within us over the course, especially 2015, but a lot of the stuff that has been brewing, marinating, healing, coming up again and again, the patterns to be cleared. Be prepared because this year is the year to actually embody, align, and go for it. Be clean, be clear with yourself, and really just live your greatest joy. Just live your greatest joy this year. And this is a time for you to remember your spiritual connections and really learn about the contrasts. Pay attention to the contrasts because they're serving function. You couldn't hone your desires without the contrasts. Okay? Wow. So let's take a look. We'll move on to your Dakini and we'll look at what embodiment are you? Who are you to become over the course of this cycle for you to step into your power, to take advantage of this energetic cycle playing out for you? Let's see what your Dakini is. Capricorn, so which Dakini is coming up for you to reflect your optimal embodiment? Who are you to become this month, to walk this month with optimal flow? You are receiving number 48, Algea. This is what Penny Slinger writes about Algea. In the primal soup, where water mixes with earth, Algea replicates, creating matter. Algea is the Dakini who dwells within and activates in the primal ooze of creation. She is the raw material holding the building blocks of all terrestrial life. She is the embodiment of all the algae. So let's move on to two components here. I'm going to read your Dakini transmission and the affirmation. Here is Algea's transmission for you. From my body, life emerges. I feel it dividing and multiplying within the cells of me. Life creating life floods my being with ecstasy, and I writhe orgasmically. The affirmation for Algea, for you Capricorn, is this: my being is comprised of intelligent colonies. I honor every cell of my body as equal to myself. I am connected to the cellular consciousness of all being, all potential. Capricorn, a reminder for any couples out there that I'm having an $88 special couples relationship spread personalized video, along with a free offering throughout the entire month of February. It is the archetypal profile for relationships. So the free offering is the profile that looks at the archetypal stories that live between you and your partner. So for anybody that orders their private video couples reading, I will provide a free relationship archetypal profile throughout the month of February. A great offer. I wish you a beautiful month. Talk to you soon. Bye.